I really thought that everybody would be a lot more happy about this baby.
Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé. Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown. 90-day Beyonce. Marrying someone you only met on your phone. Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yeah.
Let's love.
My favorite thing that was said was, "Oh, but dear or honey, they've been very acceptable in this condition. It's a blessing, not a condition."
She then she said, it's frustrating because no one understands what I'm going through. I'm like, I think they do because you've done it twice.
You've done it twice
before.
You've done it twice, and the idea is just like no one's really having everyone is like no one's really thinking how this special is it for me.
This is a I want to say this. It is a failure of storytelling from Matt Sharp. And if any of them listen to this, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to say they're doing a great job. So I'm not going to say like do better or some shit like that. But I am going to say this sister should have been here.
The other failure,
that was the biggest mistake.
The other failure of storytelling is we did not get to see the houses that they toured.
Yes, give me Love It or List It with Emily and
House
Toby.
Hunters ever.
Yes, House Hunters. Yes,
she would be awful.
He would love everything, and she'd be like, nah.
Michelle from Bloody Day has already given. She's like, I can't do Emily as well as she does. She's like, I think, is this one of those houses that look like it has yellow eyes?
Probably.
She wants the house of her dreams.
Y'all, this is Happily Ever After. I enjoyed this episode. This is Happily Ever After Season 8, Episode 19, the last episode.
Last episode proper of the season. We're going to get a 5-part tell-all.
We are. Get ready.
Let me say that again. You're going to get a 5-part tell-all.
If you haven't seen that trailer, I'm ready for a 5-part tell-all.
Because it's 90-day real world. When people stop getting polite, they never were, and start getting real and probably Angela swearing at someone.
When they stop being polite and start getting Ed.
Oh, I forgot he was in the season.
Well, you know who we really forgot was in the season was Nicole and Miss Mood.
They're not. I think he literally went back to Egypt and refused to come back.
We did not see them at all in the tell-all.
Yeah. So
that leads us to believe. Also, y'all, we originally were going to do this as a road show, but we didn't have the episode in time.
We did not get the screen in time.
We're still on there. We are in Colorado.
At a friend's wedding, which is today.
We're in Glenwood Springs. But we're recording this not on our regular mics, but on the road show
lavalier mics.
So if it sounds a little different, and we're hopefully recording a video of this for our intimate portrait for people on $15 tier on Zencastr. We don't know if it works. The internet's weird, and this place is haunted as fuck. So hopefully there's a video.
The internet here it's an interesting word, the internet.
Mine is non-existent on my computer in my room. And then in your room, it's fucking Spectrum Fiber, blow your asshole out.
But my computer won't connect.
But your computer won't connect, and neither will my iPad. We don't understand all this.
It's the ghost, y'all.
I think it's the ghost. It's Walter Devereaux.
They're fucking each other through the signal.
That's a gay name.
Walter Devereaux.
We're at a place called the Hotel Colorado.
Tell us. The address is 999 Mockingbird Lane.
Literally, this is going to air 4 days after.
True.
Like, I'm going to be in Boston.
Don't come here looking for me.
So I'll be in Boston and you'll be in an alley. So they won't be able to find us.
I got to tell you, the apps here sketch.
Y'all,
Woo!
it is beautiful part of Colorado. This is a hotel that was famously visited by 2 presidents.
William Howard Taft, our fattest president.
Who actually was, did you read the letter? He was asked to go take a dip in the pool, and he said, I don't think anyone of my size should dip in the pool. He said that, quote.
But it didn't stop him from enjoying the flora and fauna. And then Teddy Roosevelt lived here for a while.
Teddy lived here, and in fact, this place is the birthplace of the teddy bear.
Is it?
It is.
That's why they're teddy bears.
Because he would come here and go bear hunting. And the first time he was here, he shot a bear, and they showed the, I know it's horrible, y'all. They showed a bear, but the second time, he came up short and didn't have any bear to hunt. And the staff made him a bear out of scraps and stuffed it. And his daughter saw it and went, Teddy! And that's where teddy bears were born. Look at that! Little bit of herstory.
Great.
Also, I wasn't planning on watching Drag Race Global, but now Alyssa Edwards and Jujubee are going to be on it.
What is Drag Race Global?
I have no. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like, excuse me. I think it's going to be like
U.S. versus the world, or
UK versus the world. Yeah, or when they do that.
Well, by the way, we are reading notes off of our phone.
Yeah, we're not both on Grindr.
No,
these are the only things that are working.
It is the only connection because I can't get my iPad to connect. I can't.
Yeah, we can't do.
We're doing the best
of
we
anything.
can.
We
had barbecue late last night.
Amazing barbecue.
Very good barbecue.
Really good. Poodle, y'all, this poor wedding. It's actually our friend Bridget Green. It's going to be a beautiful wedding. Bridget Green's family are mostly from Houston, bigger city, and Catholic. They're used to gay people. The husband's family.
How dare you say that I was?
No, they are from Idaho, and they are Mormon
people. And
literally, when Poodle and I got to dinner late, so we sat down by the parents, and in 5 seconds, my friend Bridget Green said, well, everybody's changing tables.
We're going to switch tables, because I think...
Because she knew that Jake is a bitch that says something.
I was going to mortify Aunt Marilyn.
You literally hit on a married man from across the table from Austin.
He enjoyed it.
You said you wouldn't seduce him because you liked his wife.
I did say that.
You did say that.
I did say, I'm going to let you do your thing now because I like your wife. He looked like Conrad Nakamura.
I just don't want you to get beat up one day.
I'll be fine. I can take care of myself.
Anyway, that's what we're up to.
I can get comfortable. If you're on the intimate portrait, you're just gonna be seeing a lot of legs.
You're seeing a lot of legs. You're seeing a lot of poodles bare feet. I'm not going to show mine. I think it'll drive people crazy. I don't want to do that because men love my toes.
Yeah, we've never heard that before.
I know, right? God, the amount of times I had a dick in my feet.
Like water. Not a sponsorship of the show.
Why did they take out a letter?
They still got 2 letters.
Well, that's annoying.
What are you going to do? Excuse me.
Anyway, so no luck on the apps. Nobody, no Grizzly Adams to come.
No,
pound you.
More like an actual bear.
Oh,
exactly.
Well, we've been trying to get to that.
The bear's like no fats, no femmes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that takes us out.
Or no, the bear's actually on here to make friends.
Yeah,
like come on, you're on a hookup app.
2 for 2 on that one.
Oh, it's in a relationship. With the deer.
With the deer.
But they play together.
They play together. But he's fucking a ram on the side, but not telling anyone because his parents don't condone ram bear sex.
They have a place in San
Did
Francisco.
we just develop a Pixar movie?
Yes.
All right. Any other? Oh, y'all! If you haven't listened to last week, aired our episode with Marcus Parks from last episode on the left.
Last podcast on the left.
What did I say?
Episode.
I'm sorry. Last podcast. Be sure to check that out. That dropped on Friday, so we're very excited about that. We also, screeners willing. Hopefully, we get them in time. Mary Payne's been messaging. She's like, I haven't heard anything. We're stressed because we want to get the screeners of Love Is Blind UK, which we plan on doing.
But if it's a week ahead, we can't. We can get them. week ahead, we cannot promise to drop everything.
Yeah,
We can't do
so
that.
we're going to do it, but we're just letting you know it's not we could do it when we were younger. We can't go all Saturday and record 6 episodes. It's not
No.
good.
They dropped 4 or 5 the first day.
By that 6th episode, I'm telling like not even Oklahoma stories. I'm like, my brain is entered into past lives and I'm just telling shit. And you're looking at either dicks or pictures of macaroni and cheese to satiate yourself.
Or both.
With your shirt up. Just like lean down.
Those early shows were messy.
If you want to hear, just
season 1 of Love Is Blind was like that for us.
We did it all.
Yeah.
You know what? You know the ones that were messy that we probably both were a little too drunk on were Sabrina.
Oh, those were messy.
Rest
shows.
in peace, Chance Perdomo. But those were messy.
It's sad. It was sad.
It was very sad.
When did he die up? Was it like a car wreck?
He died of a car wreck. Yeah.
I think we want to say he died in a car
He
wreck.
died.
He said of a car wreck.
He died. Yeah.
He died of a terrible car wreck. Had a tarp.
Had a tarp.
I
I think they're still touring, right? Joey and Ellen.
think they're ending. They're doing a big, like either a moment or a live stream.
Well, you missed it. It was a great tour. Sorry. Go see them next time. Anyway.
They put on a great show. Sorry you missed it.
Yes.
That's,
and
I think, not just to clarify.
But speaking of people we love, again, please share our interview with Marcus Parks. That really helps us a lot. And if there are other podcasters kind of outside the 90-day or even reality world verse that you love, that you would love us to do a collab with, we always love hearing your suggestions.
Yes.
So, and you can do that on our social media at Reality Gaze Pod on Instagram. You message us on TikTok. We're on Twitter too, or X. So you can contact us there, or we'll get it quicker if you are on RG Plus. If you message us, Supercast, Patreon, let us know. Don't we have a Buy Curious coming up soon?
Yes, I'm going to probably put it out next week.
Okay.
The options. It's almost certainly going to include, I can give you 2 options. It's going to include the show Forbidden Love, which is the new Matt Sharp show on TLC with 2 people from different religions, varying religions, are in a relationship and I believe are going to get married. Married. And I'm also going to include the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader show.
Oh, I thought you might. That's why I was waiting to. I haven't watched it yet because I want to have a.
Y'all, I love making a bloodbath.
I'm going to watch the whole thing.
I love it when you fight in the comments.
I'm watching the whole thing. I'm just waiting for this.
You won't watch the whole thing.
No, I will that.
You probably will.
I did the first one years ago. They've had this show out before.
It's a very different show now.
It was
that was like a competition show. This is more about how the whole thing works.
Yeah, they're live, which is
a documentary.
Which at the time I remembered, like 15 years ago, they only got paid like $25 a game, and I still don't think
it is still almost nothing. Yeah. And I'm amazed.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's you do
for the honor.
For the honor. I think that's garbage. Well, I honestly think that's garbage. Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's a big deal where we're from.
So what?
I got a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader calendar.
Got one.
I got a calendar of a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. They gave me one in high school.
What good was that? What you could do? Look at the. Wait. Okay. Who gave this to you?
My choir teacher's niece was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and they gave me a calendar.
This is something she got for free, just so you should know.
Yeah.
And she probably said, it's the last ditch effort.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that's going to make him like pussy. Turned out, another failure.
Woo! I just spread my legs on the video. Woo! Woo! By the way, thank you. I've received a lot of messages, and I don't want us to fight in the show, or have any animosity, although it doesn't really affect me when you yell anymore. It just rolls off, water off duck's back. But I appreciate everyone's support for Poodle's cruelty to me, and just venal attitude of when I got a cramp in my hamstring. And
it was hysterical.
No concern for me. None at all.
It's because when you do it, you
painful.
This really high pitched sound.
It was very painful.
It was hysterical. I will say, if you have not watched, what episode was that? It was.
No,
you couldn't probably watch it. You probably. I don't think we filmed
you couldn't watch it. It wasn't filmed.
It was.
I'm glad. I would not want people to see my agony.
He went.
It really hurt.
If you would have been there, if you would have like quoting Cell Block Tango, if you would have been there, you would have done the same. You would have laughed too. It was ridiculous. It was a display.
Well, I'm feeling better. Thank you.
It was a cramp. It was hysterical. People get over cramps. I think if you would have just used instead of
it was a very
Minnie Mouse voice.
It was a very. When I get hurt, I go to this like subsonic, like I just do. I don't know why.
It was ridiculous. Was that the UK episode?
I think it was UK.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that, even if you don't listen to UK.
I'm loving UK.
Listen to the first 5 minutes of that episode for the cramp, the Charlie horse.
Yeah.
You acted like I should be concerned, like it's like your leg just fell off. It was hysterical.
I appreciate your thoughts and prayers.
Oh, fuck you.
All right.
I think that's it.
Let's do it.
Feliz Cumpleaños!
So you said you thought this was kind of a dud. I thought this was a good, it's very much now the whole point of the finales of these episodes are completely just to not resolve anything and just build up more tension for the tell-all.
Yeah, and I think...
Which is not traditional.
No.
Even in housewife shows, there's kind of a closure of things, and you see... We didn't really... The only couple we got that with was Patrick and Thais.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, but...
It wasn't that. Maybe it was. I think if a show is going to do 19 episodes and then 5 more, and remember, y'all, this tell-all
is 24 episodes.
Yeah,
we've never had that many.
No, I think maybe previously
we had 22 once.
We had 22. This is the longest season I believe we've ever had. Happily Ever After. It's almost like now it's like the Stanford prison experiment. It's like how much can they take?
Sadly, I'm fucked up because
you are
again.
Just stop right there.
I'm riveted by this tell-all trailer.
I will say the tell-all real world trailer gave me a little hope. I like it that they are living together. But my problem still has to do with with the exception of Patrick Thais, it was just a little. The last 3 episodes for about 3 of the couples have been just constantly pouring towards something, and there was not even a zenith. I didn't feel like, even for Rob and Sophie, or if there is.
I disagree. I felt like
but it's not. It's only pure raw emotion and not nuanced. That's what I'm saying. I don't love that because it's just for 3. The last 3 episodes have been the same thing.
They could have put it in one.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's so many other people they have to talk about.
It just feels like torture porn.
It's actually kind of good that Nicole and Miss Mood are gone because I don't know how there'd be space for doing the show.
There wouldn't be.
It would seem so...
Well, we would have edited it differently. It would be, I don't think we would have had as much of Kobe and Emily. And we would have had a lot less Alexia Moore.
Look, I know a lot of y'all hate her and you can skip ahead, but I'm telling you, watching Michael and Angela do laundry...
Here, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about Angela.
I have a theory of why it is so disorienting to me to watch these two. And a little bit, I'm like, what show am I on? Because think about this. We've had the same kind of setup and the same kind of payoff for Angela and Michael for 5-6 years now. Mm-hmm. We know what we're getting. Mm-hmm. Now, it's like a different show with them.
It's
Because now,
the upside down.
because now it used to be Angela's antagonist was Michael.
Now Skylar
Now-
has to do the heavy
Now
lifting.
it's Skyla, and it's Angela and Michael conspiring to say, let's convince everything it's fine. It's a very different show.
And what's interesting is, I agree. What's interesting too that Angela always, she doesn't believe Michael about anything. She never trusts him. But Skyla is the person she trusts most in the world, and she gives credence to what Skyla says. So she can't always immediately negate or push back on what Skyla. Part of her knows it's true.
See, the thing is, we're
That's interesting.
we're into the familiar Angela and Michael trope, which was always fraught with racist overtones.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in the U.S. The racist overtones are still there,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's about Angela trying to be quote unquote happy and live in this fantasy world for a while.
Mm-hmm.
She even tells Skyla that.
She does.
Can you let us have 5 weeks for Christmas, and then we can start investigating him and deciding if he's a scammer? In a weird way. That's interesting to watch for me.
It is.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I've been done with, we cover them because it's going to be the same thing every single time.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different story.
It is a different story.
I never expected this.
It also, I have to send it to you because I saw it and I asked Kim sent it to me. If y'all, for Cray Cray, if you've not listened to Kim and Kyle's version, they wrote a country song called Run, Michael, Run. And I think they used AI as well, but I think Kyle's singing it very auto-tuned. It's hysterical.
I need to listen.
I'll send it to you. It's really funny.
So y'all, we're sorting laundry. This is peak HEA.
We got an America pile. Only if
I don't believe she sorts her laundry. I think this is just for
I think she does.
Really?
Because I know my mother still sorts laundry.
Huh.
And my dad would do it. I don't do it. I think a lot of that said, I did put that fucking red TLC towel that TLC sent us in, and now I have some pink shorts.
Well,
that was my fault.
What I do sort darks, dark colors, and coal.
Yes,
and I do sort whites and. If I have a red towel,
I just didn't think about it. It was in the pile, and I popped it in there. But what I was going to say, I don't know the way you grew up, but it's like
my mother still sorts laundry.
It's a generational thing. I also feel like it has to do with like I think I'm not getting. This is totally just my own experience. I have no actual. When have we ever needed data for our opinions? But I think it's a little bit of like. My parents both grew up poor, and so like
your clothes need to be taken care of,
sorted, and that was what people that had money did.
Also, washing machines used to not be as good as they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, Angela's booze popping out. They would pop out if you played with them. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but
doesn't make a lot of sense.
But
yeah, she's teaching him how to work as my mom says, the washer. But working the washer.
You gotta mash the buttons. Mash is pushing country. That is very common.
I have never heard the word mash.
You've never heard mash a button?
Mm-mm.
Oh!
I never have.
Yes! You mash it.
Yeah.
You mash it. Mash the button.
I just imagine you just getting banged going, mash it, mash it, mash it.
Mash it. Mash not falling. That's it. And then I play the sound the washer makes.
Don't get me started because those things are too long. They're absolutely too long.
Jingles.
I appreciate a jingle. I don't mind a 5 to 10 second jingle.
My mother's is 30 seconds.
My father's was a minute.
She can't be in the same room. She goes, that thing just keeps going.
I'm like, go open the door.
I gotta find I gotta have someone take the thing off of it. It drives me ever-loving crazy.
I know you try to change it, but my dad, and it would always, like, I would just, like a baby, when I was living with my dad, I'd get him all, like, settled down, taken care of, and then the dryer would fucking go off and wake him up. And then once he's awake, we got to get up and pee again. Goes on forever.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous thing in life.
That literally, I don't even remember what we were talking about because that made me so angry.
Trauma.
Also, y'all, some of you thought they weren't done decorating it. No. The top of the tree is just unlit at Angela's house.
I think they all have such severe ADHD that they start getting ready to do it and then they get distracted by something like Slobbers the dog. That's what I've called. I've now called Angela's dog, who's of course a Rottweiler.
Yeah. I love Rottweilers.
I've called that dog Slobbers.
They do slobber.
I just come on, Slobbers. Anyway, we all knew that Angela's house would somehow be this way. I also have to say that Angela says, well, I expect Michael to pitch in half. And what's interesting thing, and I completely expected that. What I didn't expect, she said, and I really appreciate it. She looked at him and said, and I really appreciate it that he does that. I went,
it also too, like, her,
what?
You know, her whole goal. She would treat him like shit because he wasn't doing what was right, so he could get over to America. So now it's like she doesn't have a new bone to pick with him.
Yes, that's what's interesting here.
It's really weird sitting here without our mics. I feel like Hoda and Jen. I love it.
I'm just sitting here
like we're at a morning show.
It does feel like. Have you seen the weather outside?
Yeah. Oh my God!
Oh, what a day!
What did you do? What did you do with your kids this weekend?
Last night I went to see Aladdin again.
Oh,
on Broadway.
So great, so great.
Oh, what they do on stage! That genie.
Yes, and
he is a card.
And they make you believe it's magic. They really do.
By the way, Aladdin, the stage show, is terrible.
Okay, we can't go into this right now. Okay, y'all,
it's a children's show.
It is Christmas Eve. Yeah, before Christmas, and all through the house, not a cigarette was lit.
So they are. Angela tells him, "Don't measure, just pour it in like you're making love."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So she says the instructions. Here's your do. And y'all, there's no way Michael could do this on the first trip. He just kind of goes, okay. What was interesting is Michael said, "So when do I get to do my laundry?" And Angela, and this is like country ethics, y'all. Angela explains, and I don't know if this was weird to anyone, but it made complete sense to my people who I know our country. It's like, nope, we're last. The kids got to go to school. We get them to school. Then if there's time, we do our stuff.
I relate. I think that's honestly a lot of people, country or not, I think a lot of, especially if our listeners can relate to that, and mothers that they always put their kids first and take care of their shit first.
But it's like she's explained. It's the way she explains it. Like this is the way it is here.
Well, and also too because I'm imagining, I don't know a lot about Nigeria, but it's a very different type of patriarchal society.
Yeah.
And some would argue not, some would argue yes, but it's very different culturally here.
It's here
we are very much about, I think it's a product of, we could go get all into this, but we're very much of like, you do everything for your children.
Right. The kids are first. We're also, as an adult, you're last.
Yeah. Like,
and the way of, and I'm sure it was probably felt like that way in Nigeria for the women, not Michael. But it was interesting to hear her explain it. And he said, it's like, yeah, maybe we get to wash your clothes maybe sometime next week. We can run around naked. So then they're asking. I also wrote down. They have 2 crowns for their tree.
They do.
They are the queen and the king.
Yes.
And I wrote down the kids are screaming. Angela's screaming. Skyla's screaming. And I wrote down how loud it is in this house all the time. 5 children. This is not 5 children with normal volumes. This is 5 children who learn to talk and communicate around Angela, who screams.
Yeah. That's a lot.
London. I just love how she says her daughter or her granddaughter's name. What about you, London?
The spelling of these kids' names.
Yeah, it's
the kids' names, y'all.
The kids' names.
It's not great.
So we're at Christmas dinner. Michael's trying ham for the first time.
He says, "I'm not spitting it out, no matter what." It's probably so sweet to him. I bet.
I don't know if it's honey ham, but
if you tell me that Angela does not put Coca-Cola on her ham,
no, they bought it.
They probably bought it.
Yeah, they bought it.
But yeah, Angela's ham is so sweet.
And London, who is the most, seems to be the elected ambassador.
It's true. I have a niece named London, or a cousin.
How old is she?
It's my sister cousin's youngest daughter. So
yeah, that's when we started naming people like Brooklyn and London.
Well, actually, her older sister was her older, the one that's getting married in the DR in September. She was 10 when my sister cousin Kelly got pregnant again. It was a surprise. She was pissed. Oh, she was pissed. Mainly because
what's the point of this story?
But my cousin Victoria got to name her. She let her choose the name. So
I don't like that.
So she came up with the name London.
I don't think a 10-year-old child.
You would have loved to name your 10-year-old.
I should have never been able to, in any shape or form,
I want you to
name a child.
I want you to forget all that, and I want you to go ahead.
Euripides.
You go. That's what you would have named your little brother.
No.
Close your eyes.
Okay, what would I have named my little brother?
What were you doing when you were 10 years old? What were you into besides playing Evergreen on the piano, or was that older?
At 10, oh God.
You hadn't gone through puberty yet.
No,
That's
at
when
10, I was really into Wrinkle in Time.
Oh
no.
So what would you have named your little sister or brother?
Oh, Madeline, for Madeline Lingle.
Well,
that's actually lovely.
I've got another cousin named Madeline, who's the same age.
I don't know if I would have named her London. That's me.
And I'd have cousin wedding drama too. I want to tell you all about. But
we don't have time.
I'm gonna save it for the RG Plus show in case my family listens.
God, we need to move on. So, the kids all have their Christmas sweaters on.
They're asking all the questions of like, what's Christmas like in Nigeria?
He's like, we make jollof rice, very common thing in lots of parts of Africa.
I just wish Angela, and he's like, we have meat, and she's like, well, no, it's not real meat, it's goat.
And I'm goat meat.
And I just am like, that to me is where I question your love of someone. Because when I'm in love with someone, or even just a friend that I care about, if I don't know their culture, I want to support it. And to my grandchildren, I want my grandchildren to support that.
I agree with you. And I think this is as good as a cultural passport Angela can offer.
No, I do think Angela is doing the best she can.
And let me clarify by saying that the way that people like Angela in the parts of the country people like Angela come from, things that are not things that are different or just not like your experience are considered gross. Because otherwise you'd have to think that it's somehow better than you.
Yeah.
And it's not right. I'm just saying I understand it and I understand why she talks like that. But I'm saying, you know people like that.
No, yeah. I'm saying, yeah. I'm just...
But I say, I agree with you, but I of course knew she was going to say that.
Yeah.
So... Later on, and then she's like, and she's like, tell what you do. He's like, then we have chicken and we make a sauce out of it. And Andrew's like, tell what you do with it. You kill the chicken. It's like tells the gory details of all the.
Yeah, I think that's actually. I mean, but I would want to hear that to know that what's different. But y'all, all this goes out the window whenever it comes up that Michael says, "Well, I don't have a phone. His phone got broken."
Well, Skylar says, "Why ain't you been taking pictures, Michael?" In her way, and he's like, "Well, I don't have a phone." And they do ask what his favorite part about the U.S. He's like, "Well, I'm here with my new family and my wife." And I'm like, good answer.
Good answer.
And that's when Skylar says, "Why don't you have a phone, Michael?" And he said, "Well, my phone got broken." Now, this is the first time Angela has to have some type of blowback about her actions with her family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because she's really embarrassed about what she did. She doesn't want Skylar to know they're really having problems. She doesn't want to hear it.
She doesn't want to hear it.
And you watch Angela for the first time be afraid of what her daughter is going to judge her for. And I've never seen it.
And have a little shame.
Yes.
So she broke the phone.
She's like, Mima broke the phone.
She's like, we'll talk about this later. I don't want to talk about this. And then she changes the subject. The subject to parents. Now she tells us later, the kids all go off to bed, and then Skylar and Angela are talking.
Slobbers gets fed.
fed.
Come on, Slobbers to Mimo.
Michael is masturbating to Hee Haw in the bathroom. And so Skylar, he loves Minnie Pearl. That's his favorite. That turns him on. So Skylar says,
I don't like it when Slobbers watches me.
Yeah, what happens? And she said, he was supposed to leave that Paradise Men group, but it still pops up on his phone. She's like, and I saw it and I threw the phone down. And Skylar's like, well, that's all the evidence you need right there, Mama. If you don't trust him. And then she said, then you need to hire a private investigator.
And I went,
peace of mind. Oh God!
Let's take it.
Can we go to Atlanta?
I really, really wanted it to be what's her name from Family Chantel.
Martinelli.
Robin
Martinelli, private investigators. They really should just hire her to be the
good day for justice.
She needs to be the sole PI for all of 90 Day Fiancé. Robert Martinelli, 90 Day Justice.
And what was interesting thing is, Angela says, "Skylar, I just want to quit worrying for once." And you actually see how Angela's kind of way of life and the way how she figures out all of these issues and how she deals with life's issues is exhausting her. And how much it weighs on her. The way she deals with problems is eating her from the inside out. And it's just, we've seen it before, but never where she just tells Skylar, could we just leave the drama until after the holidays? That's not Angela.
That's not Angela normally.
So it's interesting.
And they do. We see them 2 weeks later, and they're driving in the car, driving down the highway.
We're going to see the PI.
Don't look back, because I'm sorry, I just imagine like her trying to look back and then getting caught in her cigarette smoke.
I got stigmas.
Yeah.
So we're meeting Todd, the PI. She's like, "You're so handsome." Can you imagine if I see it all the time. Can you imagine if Michael had said anything? She is so pretty.
You know what? She also says to him, she says, "Goddamn."
Yeah.
She says it we called it, whereas earlier she said, "What did you say to me, Michael?"
No, she said, "Michael, did you ever say that word?"
Well, she does.
Yeah.
They're meeting nothing like meeting at a China buffet. He doesn't even have an office, y'all. This guy works from his car.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is probably schmarmy as fuck.
Smarmy, yeah. And she talks about the group.
My version better, schmarmy.
Schmarmy?
Yeah.
He founds he's like, "I found a chat group called Paradise Men."
I mean, have we ever met a Todd we could trust?
No.
It'd be like when this is like old politics, but it was like Sarah Palin would be like, and my husband Todd. And you're just
my
like,
husband Todd.
it just looks like he cheated.
And my daughter Bristol.
Wow.
So there's a girl named Cheetah. And another piece of the puzzle falls in. And Skyla's finding out all this shit that she's never known. And
please have Cheetah on the towel. Please have Cheetah on the towel. Please have Cheetah on the towel.
So she also brings up the life insurance policy, which I thought was resolved.
I thought it was resolved. And immediately Skyla goes, is he trying to kill you, Mama? And she's like, no. Well, that's what I thought at first. But
and then Skyla's like, but I'm worried about Mama's safety.
There is everyone in my family, like where I'm from, and I don't know if it's a country thing, but if we would believe, and I have this in me too, that I'll think, is that person trying to actively kill me? I'll actually put it in
and
my
that's
mind.
Ridiculous.
Well, how I think.
So anyway, he's going to do a dark web search. I'm sure it'll be interesting. He says, if it's ever touched the internet, I'm going to find it.
Did you hear that, Poodle? If it's ever touched the internet, they can find it.
Yikes.
Let this be a mirror.
Don't ever do it. Don't ever call a PI. So let's move on to Rob and Sophie.
Okay, so what I liked about this, because you were talking about
what I liked about it.
No, what I agree with you, they could have done the last 3 episodes of them. But what is interesting to me about this?
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, this was
is I see that what we're seeing is that I think both Rob and Sophie have some type of PTSD, trauma, and even possibly mental illness.
Sophie's mental illness, definitely.
But we're seeing that her mental illness actually is worse than his.
Oh, I think we've known that mostly through this season.
But yes, this season's really brought it apparent. And what this has developed in me, I don't feel, especially after that video, he and Josh, and he's a douche. He's a douche. But I do understand this guy is so confused because the whiplash Sophie enacts on him, and we see that, y'all, I don't even think she's really in love she's not even in love. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think Rob loves Sophie more than Sophie loves Rob.
Sophie can't love anyone.
She'll love everyone.
But it's not.
Anyone who says, I love you and I'm attached to you, then that marshmallow is a metaphor. She threw it out and then said, no, I just never want it. And she needed, because this is some fucking Kleinian shit. She can't let go of that.
I call it her emotional support squishy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And the attachment she has to it. And this is all about someone just said, I'm leaving you, and it brought up all of her abandonment issues.
That was interesting too. When she, this is why we've said before that she's 13 years old. I'm going to make it now that she's actually 7 years old.
I agree with that.
And what happened, y'all, and I'm going to say this now in support of Rob, and I can't believe I'm saying it. Rob, there's nothing that Rob could have done.
There is nothing
that Rob could have done that could have helped Sophie not be this way, or could have saved this relationship.
I think if Rob was I don't use one word, it was a typical non-narcissist person, like a kind, just normal guy,
he would never be with Sophie.
I still don't think it would work.
Yeah,
because what we don't see, I bet the neediness and the constant, ever-present need of Sophie to be validated is a lot. Did he? And what made this a powder keg is Rob is a narcissist. He can't do any of that.
Right.
He needs to be validated. It broke my heart when she was sobbing and she said, I know I'm kind of all over, but it's the theme of them. but when she immediately cried, and the first thing she said is like, "I want to be around my mother."
Yeah.
So it's like she wants. Oh man.
Let me just set this up. Let's zoom out. So Rob is back because Sophie has called him validation, and Sophie knew that would bring him back. So he drives back to Kay's. Kay's lets him. It's like, fine, use my apartment. You enjoy it,
y'all. She's terrible too.
Well, Sophie only needs enablers around her.
She's toxic for Sophie too. Yeah. She's gonna bully her into doing it. Yeah.
So Sophie only surrounds herself with enablers. She can't handle anybody else who's going to call her out.
This is what I actually really like about this, in that I actually hope watching this helps people, because it's like Darcy. Darcy was so love dependent, love addict, that it's what we say. These people are so extreme, and then we go, wait, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
But there's a little part of me in there, and I hope people see themselves in Sophie, because I have a lot of friends that aren't this extreme, but that do go from bad guy to bad guy because they feel like that's what they're worth, and they haven't worked on their self-worth and self-love.
I can honestly say this. Darcy would watch Sophie and go, wow, that girl's got problems. Not that bad. Doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. Stacey would just go, tragic.
By the way, her and Aniko and Stacey did a Dallas Cowboys dance.
Oh, I saw it.
And the end, they both kind of grab their crotches. It's so weird.
Bring Weenie. I still want that season 3.
I agree.
TLC.
I think it's season 4.
Season 4. Where is it?
So, what happened? Sophie, y'all, is so confused because what normally happens when she leaves Rob and goes to is someone comes to save her and convince her and say, I'm sorry, and validates her and makes her feel whole by saying, no, I love you, please.
It's this regulation of her nervous system.
He didn't understand because she even said, and this was so clear, I wrote this down word for word, I don't understand what just happened. I'm the one who moved out and was upset. I should have left you. That's how this thing works. Mm-hmm. I should have broken up with you. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't get it through her head. And I went, she doesn't get it. So moving out was always a tactic. It wasn't because she needs space. It was always to get him to chase her.
Yes, she wants to be chased.
Yeah.
Because that's validation.
And to say,
remember your 20s, poodle?
There were like 4 or 5 years there.
You love the chase.
So Rob says, this is brutal. And she says, I asked you to show me why I should give you a fucking chance. And he went, you can't push someone out of your life, but then say you're trying.
That's fair.
She literally, a wind blew and took the skin off her body, and she's just bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
That reduced her to ashes.
And Rob is so confused. Well, I'm not confused because I have a degree in fucking psychology. But for any typical person who doesn't know this would be utterly confusing.
To me, I just went, this is not fixable. Although I knew it wasn't, but this was the last minute when she said immediately, well, fine, they'll never see me again, bye. And then she's on her phone. And so she's disassociating. And then the next second, he leaves. And she says she's spiraling. As soon as he's out of proximity, she's like, he dumped me over nothing. I didn't do anything. Kay said, do you want to talk about it? And she's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. I want my mom. She starts to have an anxiety attack. Even that is her nervous system needing someone to comfort her.
Well, it's also needing someone to comfort her, but it's also the panic attack. It's a way of like regulation. Mm-hmm. It's just so typical and trigger warning of sexual assault.
It has to be.
But it's so, because what happens is during that, like you get this assault, you're flooded with panic. You're floating all the, and it's just she's recreating these patterns.
Yeah.
Again, I know we keep adding, but even seeing this more, I'm like, we got to add 5 more years of solo therapy. Like, I don't mean that to, like, I think this person needs to be single for like 10 years.
I think
at least 5.
I think inpatient help would be
I think she needs to go I think she needs to go to a treatment facility. I do.
I totally agree.
Because,
and it just one place where she is the center of that.
Because I worry of her. I don't think she will because of her mom, but I worry about her not being able to handle these emotions, and then she starts using substances.
Yep. I totally agree. This is one of the most, and I can't believe I'm saying this, to me, this is one of the most mentally ill people we've ever had on the show.
I agree. And I just...
I know y'all are thinking, whoa.
But this is why I loved this, to watch it. This is because in other couples we have fraudacity. We don't know if it's real or not. This is truly the real relationship in real life. And these are things that I've seen in friends and clients, like a lot of people.
This is the real.
People go through this.
So later on, y'all, of course.
I hope they get on the last report.
She calls him back. She calls him back. He comes back because this has to be that. Kay's like, he's so crazy to break up with her like this. After all he's done. How dramatic. Are we sure he's not a female? I'm more of a man than he is. Kay's the worst person she can be around right now. And it's like a series of worst people for Sophie.
Well,
her mom's one of them.
Well, what it is what you know what's sad? What's deeply sad about all of this is Sophie is surrounded by 3 people that none of them put her best interest first.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them ever will.
Yeah.
Kay doesn't have. Kay wants to bang her. Mm-hmm. Kay just cares about Kay.
Her mom needs to control her and try to make her life better by isolating her.
And so she'll take care of her. And be a companion for her. And Rob's, again, we've talked about it, but
Rob just needs validation.
She's a narcissist, and a narcissist is never going to put you first.
Y'all, it is pouring down rain. This could not have been better.
The metaphor.
If casting could have made it rain.
That my favorite was.
It's like Notebook style rain. It is Notebook style.
The close up on that gutter just pouring into the thing. That was just like, well, that's Sophie.
But instead of them kissing in the Notebook rain,
they kiss in the rain.
That's literally the most famous scene in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. We gotta get... That is the seminal romantic film that you need to see just to be in the world. There's a certain amount of cultural references you need, and you're falling short. I mean, it's bad. So...
Watching Wonder Woman.
Anyway, so she's blubbering, weeping, kind of halfway between panic attack and anxiety attack, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is and in the car, and she's saying she's sorry, and Rob can't even be there. He's like, another morning of being alone. I guess that's what I'm going to have.
She's blubbering him, but what's interesting too about this, I've just seen this in people. I feel like what happens a lot are patterns emerge in the beginning of the relationship, immediately emerge. But I feel like patterns are like waves. When they first start, they're deep in the ocean. They're out at sea.
Yeah.
And so waves start, but we don't see how big the waves are. And so with Rob and Sophie, this pattern of her not feeling validated, her getting angry with him,
leaving,
pushing him away, leaving, waiting for him coming back, trying. This has been happening, but it's maybe been over 2 months. And then what happens in relationships? The waves start crashing to land. The waves get shorter. They get bigger. We see them. And literally, in one episode, we saw the pattern that they have replicated like 3 times.
No, it's fair.
So that's if you're in that, like that, so that was fascinating to me.
Now that we're talking about it, I can see when you said you were fascinated by this episode. Now I can see it. Because y'all, she's like, take the squishmallow. And she's like, no, I need it. And you actually see her like a child.
Yeah.
And then she's freaking out.
By the way, if he had taken it and she didn't have it, she probably would have curled in a fetal position.
And then she says again, why are you giving up on me when I should be giving up on you? She can't physically, mentally comprehend this.
Mm-hmm.
And
because her mom gave up on her.
Yep.
Her dad gave up on her.
Yep.
So she can't actually tolerate.
Yep.
That's what the panic attack is. She can't tolerate that.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on this show.
It was, I don't want to say great, but it was riveting to watch.
It was riveting. Let's talk about
Meanwhile,
more fun.
Back in Kansas, I gotta say, we should have done it, but watching the last week on, I forgot how funny David's face was when and he just goes, looking when they're saying they're pregnant. Or, I gotta say, how great of parents are these people?
I agree.
They've
done nothing. I gotta say, if it was me, the parent, I would have said, you have 2 children in my house. And I think I wrote down before, the last thing I said here is...
Do you know how Chelsea Marr would have acted? If he had a third, he would go, goddamn, don't know why you fucking can't wrap it up. I guess I'm just a fucking diner where everybody can eat off dad. Like screaming, yelling.
And Emily just thought they would be happy because I guess it's fine that I've turned your house into a daycare center.
Yes.
And because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's fucking daycare center.
And it's so what was great about this is so they go to put the kids to bed and literally, y'all,
we're back.
Lisa, it just keeps sipping on that wine.
She got another glass.
She well earned.
These parents are the most relatable ones.
You know what I do love about this is, and I don't think this is fraudacity. I think this is real. Like I said last week, like, yes, I think Emily and Kobe are really funny, but don't let us not forget, Emily is a spoiled brat.
Completely.
And so but again, I have not at my age now, but in my 30s, like, especially back at home, I had people, not even my immediate friends, but where like, oh, they're living with their parents. They're still living with their parents, having babies. But I think this is I bet a lot of parents out there are like, yeah, we can't get my fucking kid out of the house either.
It is. I think it's easier than a lot of, and I think parents won't admit that it's easier.
I just think this is a big problem for a lot of people face this.
Really?
A lot of parents. Yes. I think a lot of,
it's weird. Not where I'm from.
Yeah.
It is not a thing where I'm from.
I think a lot of parents struggle with getting their kids out of the house.
It's different when your kids have kids, though. It is very different.
Yeah.
Now, Angela, they have to do it because it's a poverty situation.
Well, they don't have.
Angela's the only breadwinner. And her daughter's in jail.
Her daughter's in jail, and then Scotty, and then Skyla. Yeah, she's got to take care of Scotty's kids. Yeah. And Skyla, it's not with her man. Yeah.
This is because this thing can't find a house that she really likes.
Yeah.
And she refuses. When they suggested renting, I said, thank you.
And she was like, we're not throwing away our money like that.
But the idea, anyway, going back a little bit, the father starts kind of saying, well, he kind of starts bargaining, David. And Mom goes, no, they promised us they would not have another baby here. Do you know how I haven't slept through the night in 4 years?
Yes.
And she says, they need to get their life together.
Yes.
And then,
that's before they came back.
Then Lisa said this.
Lisa.
And it was almost like I was blew back when she said, she'll stay here as long as she can.
Lisa knows. Emily will stay there as long as she possibly can.
Because she'll impose, because she'll act like it's kind of funny that she's doing. She's like, my parents will never kick me out because I'm cute. Everyone loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mom just says, so when are you going to buy a house?
And
Emily's like, when the right one comes along, I told you, we have totally looked for houses. I'm the one who's got approved for a mortgage. I'm the one who's blah, 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 blah.
Kobe says, look, I feel like all of these, because David says, y'all should get a starter home. And Kobe says, I feel like all the houses we've looked at have been livable.
And y'all.
And David goes, exactly.
Y'all, her face turns to stone.
She's like, I did not expect this reaction. We want to move out more than you think we want to move out. We just want to stay here. And Lisa said, this is where I think, wow, what great parents. She's like, this is a happy time. We are happy that you're having another child. And she's like, it doesn't seem like that. And
sorry we didn't throw you a shower as soon as you announced it.
I think why I love
this is a third child.
I know. I love watching this too, because maybe just because I know people in my life that are kind of spoiled and their parents have read them for filth, so it's funny to watch to me.
It's so interesting because where I grew up, if you had a child, unless you were completely, unless you had a child at a wedlock, and you could not financially handle this, if you were married and had a child, there's no way you'd be living with your parents. Mm-hmm. Absolutely no way. And and maybe it's common where you're from. It is not where I am.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot.
But after 2 children?
Oh, no, this is excessive. And she says, it was funny when she said, I mean, yes, I'm 32 and I'm living in your home, but I don't feel like you're supporting me. And I went, bitch, you're 32 years old. You're grown. And I think that
Kobe keeps going, just remember, I did promise that we would not have a third child in your house.
Remember.
We will move out.
And he said, why are you being so defensive? And that's where she's like, don't touch me.
That's my favorite moment in everything when he tries to, don't touch me.
And she gets really upset and finally she's like, I can't. And she walks out and she leaves and Kobe's sitting there and Lisa says, I'm sorry this went down. Again, we're really happy about the baby. Just get the fuck out of my house.
And then she comes back. At one point, Lisa's like, I just don't want you to push us to give you an ultimatum. And Emily then becomes 10 years old and wants to go slam her door. She's like, all right, fine. We're going to move out tomorrow. We'll move out. We're going to get a house. It's like, fine. And
I laughed and laughed through this.
But this is truly upset. Emily is very upset.
I laugh just because it is that no matter how you are, the way I laugh because it's not me.
And the thing is, everyone else is clued into the reality of the situation except for her, who wants her dream house, who she thinks she can get it for their first house when they have 2 kids and 1 on the way. And I don't know, she does work. I know he also works. But the reality here is 3 children. There's no fucking way you're going to get what you want. Mm-hmm. And part of it feels like, by the way, they just did buy a house. Because I think they knew this episode was coming. So,
or maybe they just announced it. Maybe they waited.
No, I think
they probably couldn't have announced it either.
I think but this was a good time to announce. Yeah.
Well, it's not that the houses aren't that expensive in Salina.
No. So one of our sissies looked in. They're like, you can buy a nice house for under $250 here. So if you think about how much they got approved for, they probably didn't have to put even that much down.
Probably not. I hope they bought before the interest. We're not a real estate show.
Who gives a shit?
Sorry, I'm starting to think. That's the show.
That's the show. From the Hotel Colorado.
From the Hotel Colorado.
Which is not as nice as it sounds.
Isn't it nice the way, maybe we need to get like really good lavalier. I kind of like having my hands free on the podcast.
Me too.
It's nice. We feel free.
I don't know if this sounds good though.
We could buy nicer ones.
Yeah.
We still have those other mics.
Can we have this in a meeting and not on the
We
air?
gotta get those mics from Sergio.
Can we have this in a
Christina
meeting?
takes this out, but I forgot about those. We gotta get those.
Yeah, we do.
We paid like $1,000 for those mics.
That's the show.
That's the show, everybody. We'll see you next week. Hey, listen, if you wanted to listen to this episode commercial free for what, Poodle?
Your pleasure.
You can do that by subscribing to RG Plus. That's at the $8 tier. What you do is you can go to patreon.com/realitygaze, or you can go to our Supercast page. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can just look at your little Apple Podcast app and it'll say, do you want to listen to Love After Lockup or this? And you press a button and boom, and there's our episode. Now, you cannot vote in polls or anything like that because we don't know who you are if you're on Apple.
You're not a name, you're a number, and that is fine.
That's a fine.
And we don't need to know who you are.
We had a woman at the VIP said, hey, I bought a VM. You don't know who I am, and I like it that way, but just take a picture with me.
And I went, I respect the fuck out of you, bitch.
Still don't know her name. Doesn't matter.
I'm never going to know her.
Never.
And I don't love her, but I respect her.
Yeah, we had another
love
one
very
who said that
things.
I don't even want a picture. I just wanted to say hi and tell you that you don't know me. Respect.
God. Not that I don't mind talking to people. I do actually. I was talking to my therapist the other day. I said, doing meet and greets like this has been really good for me to get out of my shell and not worry about
Good.
how and because it feels safe. It feels very safe.
Yeah.
Because people are here. I don't have to do anything.
Well, I'm glad because I hate that you feel unsafe in times.
I feel unsafe in moments where I have to talk to people. I don't like doing it.
Or during sex, you usually feel a little unsafe.
There's that's a good kind. That throat.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Right there.
That's it. Okay.
Not choking, just really hitting those aretinoids.
We got to go before a ghost fucks you in this hotel.
Oh, I hope so.
And we got-
Roderick.
We got to do...
Roderick.
Oh, no. We got to do part 2.
Ooh, I can hang from that sprinkler.
Y'all, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We appreciate it so much. We'll see you next week. We call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places, Poodle?
Yes. And if your dryer just went off,